Kelly Wells. Good afternoon. Would you please tell us your name and how you're employed?
Good afternoon. My name is Kelly Wells, Kellywells, and I am a forensic specialist with the Forensic Services Unit of the Newport News Police Department.
And as a forensic services technician with Newport News Police Department, what is your regular job? What do you do?
I respond to major crime scenes, to include homicides, aggravated assaults, any death investigation that is unnatural or unexplained, and just anything else that is deemed needing forensics.
And when you get onto a scene, what do you typically do with physical evidence that you find?
Typically, I initially take photographs, and then I identify the evidence that I see, and as well as search for additional evidence. And I collect that evidence and will either usually process it for fingerprints or swab it for DNA, and potentially send it to the lab at a later time, but it then is secured in our Forensic Services Unit.
How long have you been doing forensics work?
This is my 21st year.
I want to direct your attention to January 6th of 2023. On that day, were you called on to go to Richneck Elementary School?
Yes, I was.
Is that here in Newport News?
Yes, it is.
When you arrived at the school, were you directed to a particular classroom?
I was met by my sergeant at the time, which was Sergeant Ramdahall, and he accompanied me to classroom 11.
All right. And in that classroom, did you look for any evidence?
I did.
In that classroom, did you see a firearm?
I did.
Could you just describe where it was and how it was positioned?
Sure. When I entered the classroom, it's rectangular shaped. To the right is the front of the classroom, so the desks were facing towards that direction. And then to the left, there was a table that was behind in the back corner, behind the student's desk. On the floor by that table, there was a Taurus 9mm firearm on the floor. And then just in front of that, there was a student's desk that had a black and white backpack on the floor, and there was a Win 9mm cartridge case on the floor as well.
Okay, so let's talk about what a cartridge case is, just in case some people may not be familiar with that term.
Sure.
What is a cartridge case?
A lot of times people just generically will refer to ammunition as bullets, but typically bullets, what you're thinking of, is a cartridge. And the cartridge, which is ammunition, is comprised of a cartridge case, powder primer, and then a bullet, which is the projectile, all in one creates the cartridge. When the cartridge is loaded into a firearm and the trigger is pulled, the firing pin of the firearm strikes the head stamp of the cartridge, causing an explosion with the primer, causing the bullet to propel down the barrel of the firearm and out. And then the cartridge case that remains is then ejected from the firearm. It usually ejects back into the right.
So you have indicated you found one cartridge case. Where was that?
That was at the desk just in front of the table that was on the back left side. It was on the floor.
All right. And then with respect to the firearm, what did you observe about the firearm itself?
The firearm itself, I noticed initially that the slide was back partially. And the slide is the top piece of the firearm. And then I was able to get on the floor and look, and I could see at the opening that there was a cartridge jammed in the top of the firearm.
Okay. And would that have been an unspent cartridge, could you tell?
Correct, it had not been fired.
Okay. And did you determine whether there were any other unfired rounds or cartridges in the firearm?
Yes, once the firearm was cleared for safety by my sergeant in my presence, we observed, or I observed 6 Win 9mm Luger cartridges and the 7th from the chamber.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Wells. Please answer any questions from defense counsel.